3 regional events here in North America, and we will be crowning 3 different champions. Corelli, we've got G2 and Envy. Did you expect this matchup?
No, I did not, especially considering that these two teams haven't played each other in this entire season yet. This is the first time they've met, and they meet in the 3rd grand final here for the fall split. This is an exciting matchup. Obviously, both teams have already qualified for LAN, seeding on the line, and the first look we get at this particular matchup.
You said it's seeding on the line, playing for that number 2 seed. JNaps in the corner missed. We'll get some help from Turbo. Turbo doing a lot of work, especially in the scoring department. If you were paying attention to overall goals, this regional event, Turbo has been amazing.
Oh, he's been off the charts. #1 in goals, #1 in goal per game, #1 in shooting percentage, shooting over 31% for Turbo. It's been a crazy regional for Turbo Pulsa so far, and a well-deserved one here to get to the finals.
G2, they made quick work of FaZe, 4-0. How will they match up against Envy? Drees towards net. Atomic tapping that off to the corner. Oh, JNaps, he was thinking about it, but missed. Will clear it out, gets demoed afterwards, and a nice challenge from Atomic. Now G2 trying to work their way out of the corner. JNaps to the air, taking it down the sideline in a high hit, but missed, still handling it well.
G2 trying to get that attack that they've shown against FaZe earlier today going. But Envy's going to be a tough nut to crack, holding their opponents to 17% shooting percentage here in this regional. It's going to be very tough with the number of opportunities that G2 creates. They're certainly going to have enough to push through. As right now we sit scoreless here through the first minute and a half, and really neither team getting the upper hand.
Stalemate so far. Bounce into the middle. Atomic will send it upfield. Turbo beat out by Chicago. JNaps towards net. Atomic streaking back. Will get there in time. Drees comes in, cleaning up the rebound. Miss from Mystic. Or missed, rather. Sorry. Throw back to the past.
Yeah, an old name.
Missed going up. Out of boost. Passes down to Turbo. Turbo up in the air.
The free set?
Gets shut down by JNaps. This stone wall from G2 finally breaks. Missed. Will plow through, and Envy are on the board first.
And Turbo, he wanted to get under that one. It was a great challenge from JNaps, but then Atomic forcing it into the corner on the challenge. It comes straight out to miss for the open net. G2 got a little spread out there, and Envy take advantage.
Tip straight up off kickoff. Saw a few kickoff goals today. Turbo low on boost, all of Envy, except Mist running on fumes. Mist will try to use it. It's shut down by JNaps. Backboard bounce. Atomic will tip it out, but it's right to Drees. Sends it back. Low boost. Atomic still saving it, but shots coming in. Rebound bounce out to Drees. Weak shot, and Atomic will save it with nothing in the tank.
It was halfway in, and Atomic still keeps it out, and G2 so direct with the shooting there, and you can see what that type of pressure does to a defense. Here they come again. Drees off the backboard. Chicago, he can't get over it. It's going to be a bit too high. JNaps will give it away off the backboard, and G2, they're ramping up the offense right now. That pressure constricting the Envy defense.
G2 trying to punch him in the mouth. Chicago says that strategy will work well for him at LAN. Will it work for him here in the finals? JNaps weak hit. Atomic making defensive stop after stop. Will miss that ball. Drees trying to find Chicago in the middle.
Yeah, it was a good idea there from Drees. It was the right play. Missed execution there. Now Turbo with the shot. A soft one will be turned away by Chicago. Now the demo on Chicago might open things up. Miss tries to get around it, but Drees followed him through and gets the clear. Miss still with boost, pops it over one, and he can't hold on to it. Now JNaps looking to go towards the net. G2 need one here in the final minute. They've been threatening up to 7 shots, now 8. They can't break through.
On that last play, even JNaps waiting in the corner, putting full faith that Drees was going to kickstart that counter. Drees retreating, giving space to Turbo. Turbo looking for Mist. Drees blocks it out. Second effort. Oh, he waits for it. Chicago over to Drees in the corner, but it's too slow. And now this one kicking past JNAPS. That's going to burn a lot of time.
Oh, that's an unfortunate touch there. Coming off a G2 player past JNAPS. 30 seconds remain. Envy threatening. A great pass out to Mist, looking for the backboard. Here comes Turbopulsa. He can't get over it. Envy trying to put this one to bed in the final 20 seconds.
One boost clear for JNAPS, right to Mist. Now off the ceiling. Drees, slow play. Final seconds ticking away. Envy has put G2 in a vice grip. Finally breaking out. Drees will have to keep this alive. Mist clear out. Chicago to JNAPS. JNAPS popping it. Drees racing to it. Won't be able to get there in time. And Envy win a close game one.
And it was close in the score, but Envy certainly were able, especially the back half of game number one, push G2 onto their own side and make sure that they can't break out. But with that being said, G2 still living up to the amount of shots they're able to put out throughout this regional. They average about 11 here in this regional. They put up 8, which is a lot. Regardless, 11 is a crazy number. 8 is fine, but for G2, not able to put one away. And Envy's defense, again, I mentioned it earlier, they're able to hold their opponents to 17% shooting percentage here in this regional, and they certainly did a good job here preventing very quality attacks from G2.
You see that barrage, that shot, Drees coming in. It was a tough angle. It was tough reaction time for him to try to make, and he hit that right at Atomic, who was literally on 0 boost, sitting in net, and you saw how patiently he waited. That ball was halfway in, but Corelli, he knew that he was going to be able to make that save. Great nerves coming out from Envy on defense.
And with that being said, though, G2's offense, they looked good when they got rolling. 2, 3, 4 shots on target, dangerous ones all at the same time. Here's the pass, but it's too high from the shot. Missed, not able to get over it there. That would have been a great go-ahead goal right off the rip. Now Chicago has his chance. JNAPS with 0 boost just pushes it past the defenders and missed to carry it out.
Envy shutting down that G2 offense, which has seemed unstoppable, producing so many goals. Chicago, the top scorer in North America, averaging just under a goal per game. And now JNAPS trying to put pressure on this Envy defense. Chicago lobbing it over. Testing Mist. Comes back to the middle, and Mist will launch it downfield. JNAPS to the backboard. Drees right back into the middle. Drop pass to Mist, and that's blocked out by JNAPS.
And that's part of the G2 play style. When you talk about their offense, they know when you're doing that against them. Reading that pass, getting ahead of the play. Pays off for the G2 defense. Now Turbo, he's not going to get through 2 of them. Envy, though, again, threatening and just maintaining control on this G2 side. Not letting them out and just racking up the shots here. They're up to 6 so far, maybe a 7th looming if Turbo, he doesn't get a touch on it. And now G2 to try and transition.
Drees against Atomic, 50ing by 1, will stay on the play. Mist clearing it down the gut. Atomic racing against Chicago. Mist blocked out again. Up in front of net, Drees will take it up to Chicago. Chicago misses the touch, and Atomic will boom it back. JNAP's awkward ball, had to hit it back and trying to get it to his own corner. It was good enough to throw Mist off the trail. Lighted field.
Oh, here we go. This one might come out to him. No one there to go. Turbo doesn't get the touch. Now Chicago backwards just takes the shot, but is turned away by the Envy defense in the end. A little discombobulated there from both sides, and we keep playing tied up.
Rocket League is a game of improvisation, and there was a lot of improvising there. Chicago against Atomic. Atomic getting help from Turbo. Turbo air dribble stopped by JNAPS. Some time for Drees. He catches it in a dribble, but Atomic will shut it down, and Atomic has been so quick to shut down those lanes, whether you're trying to get a first touch or not. We even saw it against NRG, and that shot going to be just off.
And that speed from Atomic is what he's been known for in any matchup, even against the top teams. When you talk about G2 or NRG, Atomic's always in the mix, just making sure that no offense can get going and slowing you down, and just being a nuisance when he's on offense as well, not letting you out. And here's Atomic again. Can he flick this one on? It's almost through. He did get a touch on it. The defense is able to clear it off their post and out. Envy threatening here once again. Looking to come off the ceiling. Atomic doesn't make contact. JNaps doesn't either. There's a dicey ball here for G2, and the weak clear will come out to Mist. He passes it over to Atomic, looking for the back wall. Mist with no boost, can't go. And G2 just watching Envy take this one to the sky over and over and over again. Mist wants the fake over, or under Chicago, excuse me, but doesn't get it. And the clear will come out for G2.
Finally, JNaps gets some breathing room, but how long can they breathe? It seems like Envy's ready to dunk their head back under the water. We're already back in G2's half. Drees, clear out. Chicago airborne. Drees, the chance, and he misses. JNaps will lob it back to the backboard, but Drees had a chance with that ball bouncing out.
Chance to break the deadlock. Less than a minute to go. Envy threatening once again. G2 had their moment there. They couldn't convert. Drees trying to make amends to try and get downfield, but Atomic, a monster clear, will send G2 back to their own side, and Chicago will return the favor. Now Drees downfield. Point Man will flick it on. But this ball is just traveling around the arena right now. Here comes Envy. Turbo Pulse of the shot turned away by Drees. And now Drees in a 1v1. Did he just chip miss? He did! Up and over the last man, and G2 take the lead.
And Atomic went for a risky play there. He was trying to bump Drees so that Turbo could have a shot on net. And what ended up happening was that 1v1 situation, Corelli, and that chip shot was just enough. Drees coming up huge for G2.
He played at an exceptional level against FaZe, stepping up here again. Missed an opportunity earlier, but has made up for it now. 10 seconds remain, and Envy, who have had all the pressure throughout this game, that's a free one coming off the back wall, but denied by G2 again. Envy running out of time here, and they just can't get down the field. G2 not gonna let it happen. Is it gonna touch the ground? Drees will kill it, and G2 will take the game.
And an interesting start to the series so far. G2 arguably more offensive pressure in game one, despite losing it. Then here, they're sitting on their goal line a majority of the time. Just looking at saves. 9 saves being forced out of G2. 5 of them coming from Drees, and one of those saves was setting Drees up for his own counterattack where he chipped miss. This was a standout performance by Drees in game 2.
Incredible stuff from G2 to withstand the pressure from Envy, and every team experiences this against Envy. Look at the shots. 13 on the Envy side, and like you pointed out, those saves, and more importantly, making the saves, but then transitioning onto offense was so crucial for G2. And they had a couple moments where they were able to do it. They were able to convert on one with the great touch from Drees over Mist, but G2's transition game certainly strong, but you do kind of start to worry with that much defense. How long can they withstand here in this set?
Well, I mean, even on the other side of it, Corelli, with that much pressure, G2 still held up, and they were still able to get that win despite not being able to play their game. So what I think we're seeing here is what could be a very long series, Corelli. Envy and G2 both going at it. G2, if you're a G2 fan, you always feel like they're always the bridesmaid, never the bride. Well, this could be their chance.
It certainly could be, and a fine game from them. Despite the pressure they felt, coming out with the win is the ultimate result. See if they can string a couple together here against Envy. Tied up here in this first series. As Envy looking to threaten won't happen. Here's Drees into the Envy corner. Does get a touch. Dangerous ball here for Envy, but no one from G2 there to capitalize.
Missed. Tipping that up. Chicago. Oh, and the double tap from Chicago. Atomic was low on boost, and that's why he couldn't make the play.
Yeah, Atomic, one pad to work with. It's too high for him to get to. And just didn't get the perfect read on it. Had to be perfect. And Chicago, he made it look easy just to tap that one in, and G2 on the board first. G2
holding off that last game, getting that win. See how it changes the dynamic of the series. Drees with a solid 50 up against Turbo. Off the corner, it'll be high. Atomic does tap that high and over to the side, but JNaps is there. Another shot off the backboard.
Uh-oh.
Oh, missed. Low on boost himself and couldn't get that flick to the corner. Handed it right off to JNaps.
Oh, no. And he gave it back the first time, too. Oh, my goodness. A couple defensive blunders here for Envy. Disaster start for them. And for G2, you're all smiles here, taking advantage of the mistakes and the low boost situations. And it was good pressure from G2. I was just about to point out how they've been able to stretch out the Envy defense there and just peppering the back wall in places where it's tough for the defense to get to until they finally crack. And you can see how that happens with the poor touches coming out from Mist.
And that is not what you expected to see. Envy setting the pace, but now find themselves trailing. G2 holding up to that initial onslaught, now finally breaking free. The passing coming through. The 50 from Chicago. That's classic G2 passing.
Yes, sir. He said the G2 play style in his interview in Chicago, showing how it's done here. The give and go down the field, back and forth, the selfless play. It's a 3-0 lead for G2, and they're looking good doing it.
Oh, they're leaving Envy's head spinning after that. What do you even do?
Gotta find that pressure again for Envy. They just haven't shown it here in this game in a series where they've had a lot of the pressure, even in the game they lost. G2 have certainly turned it around. That's credit to G2. They've done a good job here in this game. Like Chicago said, just come out, punch him in the face real quick. And a 3-0 lead before halftime is certainly a way to get out in front.
And man, Drees is making save after save after save, reliably keeping Envy at bay. Double tap off the corner, missed. Trying to clear it out. JNaps there. Chicago coming in to help. Chicago steals that boost right under Mist's wheels. Mist out now. Shot coming in from Drees.
Oh.
Rebound high. Chicago with some time. Goes for the top shelf and is denied.
Oh, Atomic keeping them away, but G2 will not be denied. They're going to keep going as Mist will finally land on it. Some good control here from Mist to slow down that attack. G2 now have to play a little bit of defense. There's plenty of time here for Envy, but they just have not put up the shots to produce any dangerous offense. Only 2 shots here in this game, and they really haven't spent any time on this G2 side, and when they haven't been able to keep it. Here's an opportunity. Some space for Atomic. Over to Mist. The pass to Turbo is wide on the shot. He's been so good this regional, but can't convert there.
Trying to replicate what G2 had just done. And it looked like it was coming together except for that last shot. JNaps. A hard hit downfield. It's just going in. He just chips it from the corner.
I think both of us are stunned that he even scored that. Turbo, maybe not the best touch, but it isn't the worst when it's in the corner. That's an absurd angle for JNaps to score, and he just runs right into it.
He had the perfect hitbox for that job. There was really only one way you could hit that. There was zero margin for error. And now Drees,
he's making a dance.
With the uppercut. The knockout punch coming from the young gun.
Look at him slowing it down. He only has a pad to work with, and you can see Atomic. He doesn't know where he's going to go. He's trying to predict things that Drees just couldn't do with the boost in the tank, and Drees just cradles it into the net while he watches Atomic dance in front of him.
That was disrespectful, Corelli. The 5th goal in that fashion. Double commit from Envy, but it'll be down far. Drees to the corner. Missed, stopped by JNaps. JNaps clinging to that ball. Turbo, good speed, but this game got out of hand, and it just makes you scratch your head, Corelli, how this can be the same 2 teams that we saw from the last game. Envy keeping G2 back the entire game, and now G2, you saw the adjustments, and one of them seems like it was an immense focus on boost. We saw multiple times another goal coming in But we saw multiple times where G2 opted to just let Envy make the hit on their own backboard and steal the corner and continue to starve them out.
They really let Envy make their own grave in a lot of these situations where Envy just couldn't hold on to the ball. You could even see, I mean, even in that Drees goal where Atomic, I mean, he's just thinking that Atomic's going to do, or excuse me, Drees is going to do so much with that ball. In the end, Drees just really walks it into the net. So Envy kind of on a different level right now as far as how tricky G2 is going to be. It's just been clean and quality Rocket League here from G2. Passing play has been on point. The pressure has been on point. They haven't let Envy really have anything easy here. No mistakes coming out. There's been some defensive blunders on the Envy side, so it just hasn't been a good game for them. But you're right. The difference in gameplay between this game and really either of the two games we saw earlier is immense.
See if one more will come in. JNaps saving that off to this side. And they're going for 7. But won't get it. G2, however, a statement game. Game 3, 6-0 in the grand final against Envy. I didn't think I'd be saying that.
And I'm thinking in my head, do you take a timeout here? I mean, that was a spanking from G2 here. This was not just, you know, a 3-goal lead that G2 hung on for the rest of the game. I mean, they through and through throttled Envy in this game. But maybe not. The players have readied up, so I suppose not. You just play it through. It was definitely a poor game from Envy, James. Like, it was just, they made some mistakes, and you can kind of just chalk it up to say, hey, you know what? We had a bad game. You know, JNaps is hitting shots like that in the corner. G2 had a great game. So you could just chalk it up to that if you're on the Envy side.
I mean, we've even seen that before. Teams of old, you remember Flipside back in the day would lose a game 7-1 and then come back in the series. Sometimes you do just have to chalk it up to a bad game, and a bad game it was from Envy. So we'll see how they respond. No timeout came through. They're going to roll right back into it. G2 leading 2-1 here in this first series.
It's crazy to think about. Hold on a second. Envy's going to get one right off the rip. 6 seconds. They were shut out in the previous game. It took them 6 seconds in this one to get back into it.
And that is going to do wonders for the mentality. Failing to score last game, letting in 6. Now just 6 seconds in, already taking the lead. Envy not done fighting just yet. Pass off to Atomic. Atomic. Backboard bounce.
1v1.
Now Drees, 1v1 situation. The low 50 and missed will come in to help out. Turbo got enough of it to slow it down.
Yeah, that was great work from both players. Turbo did his job just to slow it down. Drees did his job to at least keep possession. Both players, I think, happy with that outcome. Chicago now looking to push it downfield, but missed. A monster challenge will prevent that. Here's Atomic with some boost. Looking for him to get back into it. He'll take the challenge. Here's missed on the shot. It's a little bit high. Need one more. Turbo isn't there. Both of his teammates were on the goal line practically. He didn't want to creep up too far as Envy forced to retreat.
Drees had a bit of a heavy touch. That opened up the door. Chicago going for backboard. Atomic missed.
He missed.
Rebound to Drees. Save from missed. JNaps the bouncer. Save from Turbo, who was hanging on the inside of the post.
Oh, Chicago got one. JNaps off the post. Can't put it away. Even with the demo, still G2 trying to keep the pressure on. So many chances. The pass to Drees. The defense there for Envy. JNaps again on the challenge. And Envy scrambling to get this ball out.
Oh, that was G2 going into the next phase. Envy barely staying alive. Had to take a couple health potions, but finally they're back out of it.
They have been bruised and battered here. But they are keeping G2 at bay. And some quality challenge is what really bailed them out there, James. Meeting that ball as soon as the attacker was. And making sure that that one was never going towards the net. That's another miss there from Turbo. Now Atomic, an easy pass down to miss. Will get some time for Envy to reset.
Missed off the ceiling. Almost got the bump. Will get the pass off the ceiling. What a good challenge. JNaps recovering.
No boost.
Over to Chicago. Chicago.
Wow.
Backboard bounce. Drees will be denied by Mist. Not over yet. JNap's waiting for his chance. Oh, Drees cuts the lane, and that's going to leave the net wide open. A miscommunication from G2 at the midfield.
And JNap's was right behind him, and you're right. I don't know if Drees needed to go there. JNap's was right there for the challenge. Either way, it left the net open, and Envy able to double up here at halftime.
And you saw even the confusion on JNap's as Drees came in for that challenge. He started turning off the line, wasn't really sure where to go, and that bounce was the worst one G2 could have hoped for. Still in it. Chicago will tuck that in.
Why on earth is JNap's with no boost allowed to get to this ball after it bounced in the box on the Envy side? Chicago to slip it in the corner. But JNap's watching the Envy defense, watch him as he passes it over.
We've got a ball game, and Corelli, to answer the question, Atomic was just in the way of Mist. Mist wanted to go for it, but then Atomic pulled in front of him. G2 with some life now. 2 minutes left to play, trailing by 1.
Some life here from Envy in this game. Though they, again, have had to feel some pressure. They're in the lead. Oh, and that pass maybe a little too far out in front of Turbo. Atomic wants a piece of it. Not going to get there. Now Mist will have to let it go. The pass over to Drees. He's wide open. The shot on target. Mist can't make the save. And G2 tie it up.
And I love this placement from Drees. He sees Mist winding up, going for it on the wall, and he puts it behind him. Mist still almost got the save, but Drees put enough on it that it was good enough. Now G2 tying it up.
The vision from G2 is just unmatched here in North America. It's beautiful to see them play, seeing those passing lanes, seeing the their teammate on the opposite side. And hold on, they're watching Turbo Pulse a score on him here. Envy reclaiming the lead.
Chicago opting for boost. JNap's getting beat by Atomic. That speed even surprising Drees. Drees positioned for a 50 from JNap's. But sometimes Atomic is just too fast.
So now G2 have to go to work. They've been able to develop some good offense here. And oh, what a save! But it still goes through. He followed it up, and G2 respond.
And look at this. Drees faking like he's going to hit it. Leaves it for JNap's. That surprises Turbo. JNap's still staying in the play. The king of the second effort, JNap's. Because that goal wasn't guaranteed. He had to go and finish that one off.
Everyone getting on the board here for G2. 1 goal apiece for every player. And now an opportunity here for Drees. Can he get back to it? He will. The touch on target. Turbo Pulse there to deny. G2 wants to play it off the ceiling. JNap's trying to give it over to Chicago. He'll have his go on net, and it almost goes in. Turbo to turn it away. G2 opportunity coming here. JNap's a second touch. Chicago, the corner again, and G2 back in front.
19 boost collectively for Envy. And I tell you what, Corelli, that is not enough to stop Chicago and G2.
Oh my goodness. Both of these teams responding to each other. Less than a minute to play. G2 putting on a clinic of offense there.
And the comeback from G2 in this game. It's been impressive, but it's not over yet. Envy, they started hot. Can they finish hot? Atomic with a windup. Across to Mist. Mist back to Atomic, but the play broken up by Chicago. Turbo. Just launching it. Drees 50'd. Less than 30 seconds left to play.
A little precarious here.
Oh, and that's a good 50, but Drees will save it, and JNap's hits it off to the side. A demo.
Oh, what a challenge.
This ball's out in the middle. Where is Envy? Not to be found. Chicago.
He's going to end it.
He does end it. 4 seconds left. Up by 2. Chicago with the death blow.
A huge shot here for Chicago, and Mist hoping that he's guessing right, but the placement too good. And G2 taking advantage of the slow approach from Envy there in the midfield. You asked, where were they? And they were nowhere to be found. Chicago will eat that up.
The perseverance we're seeing out of G2 is impressive. They even in the game 2, where you think they're gonna lose it, they're stuck. They managed to win it, and since that point, they have been almost unstoppable. They even give up the first goal this game. They're losing most of the game, and then they find a way to win. And Chicago, the #1 scorer in North America, he's doing it here in the grand finals when it matters the most for G2.
A hat trick, 3 for 5 here for Chicago. 3 goals on 5 shots. He scored 3 out of the 5 goals that G2 scored, I suppose, as well. And you can see the passing plays here in these replays from G2, the relentless pressure coming out from them. That's really where Envy suffered. When you talked about why isn't Envy able to get to the ball? They don't have any boost. And it's because G2, they changed the field so much. They switched the field left to right, in your right corner, in your left corner, back out to the midfield. It stretches you out. It forces you to use your boost. And then G2 take advantage of the gaps.
And G2 willing to take a couple risks, and it bit them the one time where Dries stayed in the play and it confused JNAPS. That did bite G2. But in the long run, it seems like G2's play style is paying off. Another save coming out from Dries. Sounds like a broken record. How many times I've been saying that today?
He's had a phenomenal weekend. And honestly, everyone on G2 has played extremely well. But hold on, that's not the best touch from Dries. But oh, he gets saved by the post. Turbo was back post, and it came out to him. And Envy on the board.
And Turbo had one small pad, and that's excellent game sense. If he turns out, if he's just expecting it, go out, then he wouldn't have been ready, but he knew that there was a chance for that bounce.
Yeah, I cursed him there. I said how well he was playing, and then he misses the touch there from Dries, but he certainly has, especially on offense. And now G2 looking to go to work.
And they find themselves in the same situation they were in game 4. They managed to win it. Envy need to get this win, otherwise they drop the first series in this best of set.
Oh my.
Atomic.
It's got Turbo.
Looking for
He's
Turbo.
there.
Turbo, the bounce shot. And it's good enough to get it.
Oh, more than enough. And look at Atomic work here in the corner. Just going up and over. JNAPS keeping the ball, collecting it, and then playing it over to Turbo. And Dries frozen on trying to get to that ball. And Turbo knew he just had to slam his face into it. And Envy now, again, a 2-goal lead here right off the rip.
And it was wise that he played the bounce as well. He saw the defender coming in, guarding that low shot. Someone else streaking in from the middle. Had to bounce it above him. Chicago, the flick, stopped by Turbo. JNAPS off the ceiling. Dries, good speed. Backboard bounce, double commit from Envy. Missed trying to get back in time. Atomic does buy some time for his teammates. Missed.
Got Turbo.
Boom it straight up for Turbo, but it's cut off.
You can see Envy try to put a couple of these passing plays together. And they've worked out some of the time. But G2, like we said earlier, when you try and put their own play style against them, it's very tough. They know exactly where you're going to go with it. And that defense has held strong for them most of the time.
Back pass cut off. Wide open net. Ambitious from Envy, but a little too, if you ask me, Corelli.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. It's a great idea to pass this one across, but it was too out in front of the man. Chicago read it all the way. He knew if that one went wrong, he had an open net to shoot on. G2 able to cut the lead in half.
We'll see how Envy responds to this. They still have the lead, but with how these past games have gone, there has to be that nagging feeling, that nagging thought in the back of your mind that maybe G2 is going to do it again.
They certainly can, only down by 1 now. Although Envy, they have shown a little bit more offense here in this game. Holding that pressure on the G2 side just a little bit more. But here's a good pass over to Atomic. The touch given away towards Dries. He'll just take away the boost. Dries trying to find a way out. Gets by 1. Missed. Pops it back in the center of the field. Turbo Pulse wanted a piece of it. Now Drees, a crazy angle, finds the backboard. It comes back out. Chicago puts it through. What an incredible pass from Drees.
Drees, this is not the first time he's done this. You don't know if he's going to go for a shot or what, so you're preparing for this shot, but it's a perfect pass off the backboard to none other than Chicago.
Unreal to get that angle and to contort himself to get that type of power on it. Now missed. He's got a shot on net, and it's an easy save for Drees, but Envy threatening here as we're tied up. You said, James, you can't help but feel that nagging feeling that G2's never out of it. Well, here we are. Less than 2 minutes to go, and G2 have battled back.
And this is just a battle, Corelli. The war will be ongoing. This one, though, important for either team. If even just for this game, if you can prove to yourself, if you're Envy, that you can stop the bleeding, that you can shut down G2, that would do wonders. But G2, their confidence, it would be soaring if they close this series out in this fashion.
Drees wanted to land on that one, did so, but not with enough power. Coming up on a minute left, Envy fishing for a mistake from G2, fishing for that gap. Maybe a demo might open things up, maybe two from Mist. As Atomic will find it back to Mist. Here's the shot, it's too high. Drees gets a piece of it. Envy still threatening, a pass is a little bit high over Turbo Pulsa, and the clear will come out from G2.
Again, Envy trying to force that pass, and it not panning out. Even that double demo from Mist wasn't enough. Mist slowing it down. Turbo demoing the back line. Mist off the ceiling. Drees light hit down. Atomic will turn on it. Goes straight for net. Chicago with the save. And J-Naps with the follow-up.
Oh, incredible save from Chicago to keep G2 in this. They're trying to end it now. Chicago again tries to get over Atomic. But here comes Envy. Maybe their last chance here. Can they steal this game away? The pass was there, but J-Naps turns it away.
Drees. Shut down by Mist. Atomic. He's got Turbo. Back to Atomic. Down to Mist.
Pass.
Mist. Oh, this is a breakaway chance. Drees had support from J-Naps. Off the backboard. Chicago keeping it alive. Drees in the middle.
Oh, he's got no boost.
He lost control, and Mist will take this to the ground. No, he's going to keep it alive. The flick. And J-Naps will take it off to the sidewall. This could get interesting. Now off the ceiling, and it finally hits. Envy and G2 playing for it all.
Wow, the tension was building in that one. I love players keeping that one up. And here we are, tied up. G2, J-Naps, can he put it away? Can't go through Mist. Drees can't break through Turbo Pulsa. And the first 10 seconds, G2 already have their chance.
Going for the 50 game. Envy holding up well. Drees off the corner. Atomic controls. Takes it around one. Around another. J-Naps finally stopping him. J-Naps to the middle. Chicago tipping it up. Now Atomic back into G2's half. Off the ceiling. Chicago was pressured by Atomic, and Mist will miss that hit. A chip back to goal. Playing the rebound game. Self pass from J-Naps is high up in the air. Mist jumps right away.
Drees couldn't get there, and Envy feeling some pressure here. You can see how many times G2 just wants to pop it up into the corner. You talked about the self pass as well. Quality, high percentage plays coming out from G2 to keep it on this Envy side. And you can see Envy, they can really just throw it downfield. That's their only way out. They do break out here, but only for a moment. Chicago instantly throws it back downfield. Here's Drees off the corner, and two go from Envy. They do get the touch in the clear. And Turbo will put an end to the offense.
Atomic committing. He got the corner boost. Gets demoed. J-Naps challenged by Mist. Turbo, what will he do here? Oh, he's going to get cut off by Mist. Now retreating. Atomic up the sidewall. Drees back down into the hands of Turbo. Ceiling pass. Missed.
Flip.
The double tap will be shut down.
He got the flip reset there and everything. But the defense again from G2 getting in the way. Now Drees on the dribble. Oh, he almost squeaks through with the challenge. Now JNAP's off the ceiling. A light touch towards the near post. Won't be enough to break down Envy. And they're quickly down the field. Chicago a heavy touch, but it will go off the post. And that's the best he can do with that. Now Atomic quickly, so direct. Again Atomic on the shot. And Envy now up to 12 shots here in this game. Looking for their 13th now. G2 at 9.
The tension. You can just feel it. Envy. They had so much effort poured into this series. They've held leads just to give it up. They need to get this game. G2. If they get this series in this fashion, Corelli, it might be an omen.
The stats say it's likely. G2 4-0 in overtime in this regional so far. Envy 3-6.
Drees. Beat by Mist. Atomic racing in. Atomic has Turbo in the middle. Pops it for him. Turbo will be stopped. Chicago awkward ball. And JNAPS comes from the sky to make that save. This overtime has been as close as you can have it. A tug of war playing out on the field.
Certainly a great way to put it. Both teams having opportunities. Here's a big one now for G2. JNAPS couldn't hold on to it, and Envy again. Monster clears coming out from them. And G2 will respond with it. Now an opportunity. Mist gets a demo. Atomic, maybe not the touch he wanted. Now Turbo, he can't get by Drees. The big miss there from JNAPS. Chicago there to bail him out. And it's really now, it feels like, James, just teams not trying to make mistakes at this point. Keeping their side clean, not wanting to overcommit. It feels very conservative at the moment.
And we've seen long overtimes with Envy before, even thinking back to that Space Station series. I believe the overtime, 8 minutes and 59 seconds.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that vicinity.
Yeah.
And you're right, Corelli. Risks not really being taken. Conservative gameplay. Drees trying to get it out. Envy has been encroaching on G2's goal line. Turbo. Oh, that's a strong 50. What'll Atomic do? Awkward bounce as well. We'll get by one. JNAP streaks in, but Atomic got it by him as well. However, Chicago going for the double, and Mist will stop that out.
And I don't blame the teams for the conservative approach. A best of 7 lead is a massive one. And even for G2, who have the advantage right now, you definitely want to handle this one with care. Here's a passing play, and that one immediately jumped on by Atomic. This ball floating in the midfield, and options there for G2, but couldn't hold on to it.
Drees being jostled, fights his way through into the dribble. It'll pinch back, Mist. Pressing the issue, forcing JNAPS to make the play. Now Atomic air dribble pass to Turbo, a bump as well. Drees will make the save. Rebound out to Mist. Chicago misses, backward bounce. Atomic winding up, but it will get cleared out. Mist lobbing it back in. Atomic goes for the shot, and it's saved. Chicago backflips, and it bounces off the post and out.
Oh, and Chicago missed the mid boost too. He had no boost on those saves.
Could be it.
Can he put it over? No boost for Chicago. Just throws it into the corner. Envy have G2 on their heels right now, but they just can't break through. In all of this pressure, they haven't registered a shot, and G2 breaking out into the midfield.
G2 now taking their shot. Double commit. Turbo and Mist both went up. Drees to the middle to JNAPS. JNAPS will keep possession, but it bounces right to Turbo. JNAPS
full boost,
taking it to the air. Flip reset inbound. The 50 will pinch it off the corner. Chicago. Awkward for Atomic.
Oh, man.
Up in the air in front of net. Mist will get there in time. Nobody from G2 wanted to take the dive.
And I suppose I can't blame them, but boy, oh boy, both sides now have made each other's defenses jump. 6 minutes and 45 seconds of overtime. Who's going to break the deadlock?
Turbo We'll get a piece of that off the ceiling. It's back to Drees, who has a lot of real estate to work with. Drees pushing it forward, going for the bump. Drees denied. Rebound to Chicago off the post, and it's no good. Envy stay alive.
How did they get out of that? 7 minutes and counting, and G2 still threatening here. Envy trying to get a hold of it. Now it's a breakaway. Turbo, can he get the goal? Yes, he can, and we're gonna keep going.
It took 7 minutes and 20 seconds. Some unbelievably close shots. But in the end, Turbo steps up with no boost to make the play.
Me, oh my, oh my, oh me. My goodness, James. Envy to come out on top like that.
It is getting spicy. It is getting spicy, Corelli.
And for G2 to be so close on the goal line, that was brilliant from Drees in that air dribble off the crossbar. Chicago's shot was decent, and Drees just couldn't backflip into it. My goodness. And we're looking at replay. I don't even remember what happened in the beginning of this game, honestly. It's been so long.
7 minutes and 20 seconds of overtime. It ended like that. I think that's even fair to say that was a Turbo goal by Turbo himself. You know, for it all to happen like that. I mean, you even predicted it, Corelli. Once you get into these intense moments, these high stakes moments, sometimes that's when you see them. And it almost looked like we were going to have a spectacular goal to finish it out. Drees, he goes up, pretend like he's going to flip reset, instead pokes it out further. Then he goes for the air bump, hits the bump, but it still got saved. The defensive saves that we saw, it was a bit mind-blowing.
Oh, insane. I mean, it happened in regular time, too. Both teams had great chances. It's something we were saying yesterday with complexity and phase, James. Both sides, offense looked good, and the defenses were holding strong. Oh, man. Envy now get themselves into a Game 6. A well-earned Game 6, but they got to get another one to tie up this series.
Just thinking back to Garrett's interview, even when he was talking about taking down Envy, before he said they just seemed nervous. Well, it seems like they are being battle-hardened here in this series, Corelli. And also for G2, just looking at this, they made it to the finals before in a regional event, and they fell after taking that first series. So there's been questions about both teams being able to close it out, and this series is going to do wonders for whoever wins it, because this has been so hard fought, even up to this point.
Yeah, I mean, when you're G2 and you're that close to winning, you feel like when you have another opportunity, you're not going to let it slip. You know, even besides the major opportunity, there's still worlds on the line, and these wins matter for that at the end of the day. But my goodness, G2 trying to close it out here in Game 6. And it has not been easy. Envy. They've looked weak at some points, but they have certainly looked strong towards the end. Can they get one here, Chicago, to turn away the Atomic shot?
Atomic masking that shot well. JNAPS going for the backboard read. It's out to Drees. Drees off the corner, missed. We'll clear it down. Turbo gets demoed. JNAPS with boost. We'll leave it for Chicago to help out. JNAPS to the middle for Drees, but it was too high. Turbo cutting off the play. A nice set.
Oh,
Atomic will have an open net off this beautiful set from Mist.
And what happened here for the G2 defense? Chicago gets beat to it. Drees went to the mid boost, and I think JNAPS also wanted some of the mid boost as well, the other one, the opposite end, and that just left the goal wide open.
And Mist, with low boost, makes another play. And G2, they have been hungry for that boost, and the boost game has been working out for him. But there, that touch from Mist foiled any plan G2 had.
5 shots here for Envy. Missed there with the hard one. Here's Atomic now. Wants the pass down to Mist. Not going to happen. And Envy would love to have a 2-goal lead if they can get through. Quality touch here from Mist and a good challenge. Great patience on the ball to not instantly just throw it downfield, but to bring it down and force a quality challenge in your favor.
And that patience on the goal line, some of the most stressful times you can have as a defender. But Mist handling it well. Atomic, boom, downfield. Turbo won't get to it. Now JNAPS off the ceiling. Drees. You can see Drees trying to force Atomic off the ball with positioning, but ended up not going for it. Now Envy will get possession back.
Good touch from JNaps to stop the attack there from Envy. Here's Chicago, drops it down to Drees. Actually, JNaps takes it away.
Ooh.
And they're not able to put a quality shot on target. JNaps was just off the frame.
And Corelli, if Drees doesn't go for that, perhaps he's cleaning up that rebound.
Yeah. A little miscommunication there from G2. Antsy for them to move up, but still a quality chance. Now Chicago, he's just got Turbo in front of him. Turbo does well to turn him away. And on the transition, Envy go.
Missed. We'll have that wrap around Chicago with the miss, and then gets demoed. JNaps bumped. Drees clears it down the sideline. Atomic out of boost. That's awkward. Turbo misses as well.
Players reading some touches, not happening there. Chicago trying to work through the corner with no boost. Coming up on a minute left. G2, they've hit 8 shots to their name so far. 0 for 8. But maybe it could be their 9th opportunity to tie it up. Turbo Pulsa quietly will push this one up the wall.
Double.
Atomic there to help. 2 go. Here comes Chicago. 38 boost to work with. Drees looking for the bump on miss.
Oh,
Chicago denied. Turbo comes through. JNap's shot goes wide. And Envy again break out.
Oh, Turbo, the hustle to get back and bicycle flip in the way of that shot, because the bump came through. It was going to be a scoring chance for G2. Turbo, excellent effort. Oh. And another save coming out from Turbo.
He has planted himself on the goal line. And G2, they might only get one more opportunity. If Drees can get a hold of it, he does get a touch. Now Chicago throws it towards net. Atomic can't get back. 8 seconds left, and G2 tie it up.
Of course they do, Corelli. I'd expect nothing less in this series. You saw Atomic was in reverse, perhaps thinking that someone was going to bump him. Drees, you saw him in that area. Chicago a hard hit now.
Oh my.
Chicago another chance. Off the corner will be cleared down. JNaps and Chicago opting to take it to overtime.
Here we go again. Game 6 overtime. G2 looking to close it out. They couldn't do it last time, and they're not going to do it here, James. Game 7 inbound.
Turbo with another overtime goal, back to back, and Envy forcing Game 7 in a series that I thought they had long lost.
Incredible work from Envy to put that one away off the kickoff, and we aren't even gonna really get into the overtime. 5 seconds is all it took. Game 7 for the machine.
It's had it all, Corelli. I mean, you got the long overtimes, the short overtimes, the crazy goals, the crazy saves. And we're just getting started. This is only the first series. We might have 2 more of these. And with the way that this has been playing out, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case.
I'm gonna need a sub out. I'm gonna lose my I'm gonna lose consciousness with these games. They're incredible. And for G2, or for Envy, excuse me, to battle back, absolutely insane, especially with the pressure that they've felt from G2 in the middle of that series. Like you said, I wouldn't have given Envy this series had we seen, the first 3 or 4 games. It had been all G2, but you got to give credit to Envy to get back into this one, score crucial goals in overtime to earn themselves a Game 7.
And, if I'm any team out there in the world, whatever region you're in, seeing Envy and Turbo step up in this moment, it might make you a little nervous knowing that that LAN is right around the corner.
Wow. NA's finest here going up against each other, and I cannot believe that we are in a Game 7, James.
Yes, Game 7 here on Champions Field, brought to you by Verizon, the Fall Classic, Series 1 of the Grand Finals, all coming down to this. JNaps challenged by Mist. Envy has been coming from behind, getting in the way, trying to make things difficult for G2. It's been working so far. Chicago with the catch, immediately flicks it. Rebound now out to Drees. Drees sealing the backboard, but Turbo tipping it. Drees still getting in the way, bumping Atomic.
Can't believe Drees kept that for so long. Quality challenges coming out. Stay behind the ball. Here's Jnaps looking for the back wall, and he will get it. And he wants to bump on Mist. He found him. No one there from G2 to follow up. And now Chicago in the midfield will get a favorable touch and challenge to the NV side. Turbo. Well, he's not going to knock Drees enough to get him away from that ball. G2 circling on the NV side and missed a quality challenge. Look at him go to stop G2 in their tracks.
Oh, but a double commit. That's bad for Envy. Drees parked on Mist's hood. Atomic trying to mess Chicago up. Chicago still going for the backboard. A light
boost.
touch from Mist. Jnaps trying to control it. Steals that corner boost. Things starting to look up for G2. The demo by Drees, but Atomic saves it through the smoke.
Quite literally, all three of Envy on no boost at some points here playing defense. Mist with nothing in the tank. Turbopulsa with 7. Atomic with 20. Now he's picking up some pads to try and get to this ball. They have been boost-starved on defense in multiple games in this series, James, and it has paid off for G2. They're not able to convert here, but they're able to put up 6 shots.
All that effort, all that work, Corelli, that has been put in by both teams, though, it's going to come to fruition in this series, in this single game. G2 holding possession, a bump from Turbo. Chicago challenged by Mist. Jnaps around Atomic, late flip. Turbo helping out. Turbo doing everything he can to march that downfield. He's out of boost. He'll be slow to get back. Jnaps backboard pass, it bounces straight down. And now Drees with a windup. Sees Atomic coming in, low 50s, maintains control. Out to Jnaps, who slows it down. Jnaps dribbling, but he's shut down.
That's so smart from Jnaps. 0 shots for Envy. They really haven't spent any time on this G2 side. 7 now for G2, have been threatening all game long. And yet we stay tied. Here's Envy's first good look. That one gonna be turned away by Chicago.
Atomic breaking up the play. Drees got a piece of it. Turbo, the dribble. Around Chicago. Towards net, the 50. Atomic now has Mist in support. Mist, slow to the ball. A lob back. Turbo with time. Not the best first touch. Off the sidewall. Shot coming in. No, it doesn't. Mist breaks it up.
Chicago stealing away the corner boost for Envy as well. Talk about the suffocation of boost on the Envy side. There's the pass. Jnaps, back post shot, and G2 take the lead.
Jnaps scooping out that back corner. Turbo, too far out of net, and Jnaps made him pay. Wonderfully placed.
85-mile-an-hour bullet to the far side of the Envy net. Jnaps, 1 for 5 here in this game, and looking for more. G2 in the lead, looking to close out this series in Game 7.
They led the series 3-1 after letting Envy pick up Game 1. Envy has roared back, forcing Game 7. We've seen some last-second craziness before. We've got 1 minute left to play. Envy trailing. Chicago. Oh, no. Jnaps got bumped into that.
Yup. Oh, it's open. Can he get back to it? With no boost. The shot, no, it went wide. Mist was there to clear it out. But now Jnaps, he's looking for more for G2. And Envy, who've been backed up, still have not registered a shot in this game. G2 have been all over them here. Final 30 upon us.
Mist, ground pinch over to Atomic. Jnaps, tough ball to deal with, but he still does it well. Chicago booming it to the Envy corner. Drees will drive right under it, lets it go to steal the boost. G2 playing the possession game. It's working so far, but that 50 will kick it up. Turbo blocked out. Atomic. Oh, he side flips.
This is it. Envy, you got to get down the field, and it's not going to happen. G2, you're going to win the first series here in this set.
Back-to-back overtime wins from Envy to force this Game 7, and G2 hold it off. JNAPS, the stellar 85-mile-an-hour bullet to the lower corner, was what put G2 through, and they will pick up this first series. It's not over yet, Corelli, but what a battle this has been so far.
Incredible battle, and I think if I'm on the G2 side, a huge sigh of relief, not because Envy was threatening here, but just that it didn't slip through your fingers here. They played a quality series. G2, again, all over this Envy squad. And you mentioned something there at the end when Dries drove under the ball and instead just went for the boost, didn't even get the touch. It really shows the MO of G2 in this series, because they certainly suffocated Envy in the boost department.
They did, and you saw, I mean, Envy was struggling to adapt to it, and even in this game, Game 7, Envy knows what's coming. They know what's coming, and it was so tight. The fact that that game was so tight, but you look at the shots, 9 shots for G2 and 0. There was 0 shots from Envy in that last game. G2 is playing inspired Rocket League, but it's still such a close matchup. The Envy bringing it back in the fashion that they did. You know that regardless of what position they find themselves in, even going into this next series down 1-0 in the best of set, that there's still a threat to come back and win it.
Oh, definitely. Cannot count out the machine at this moment. And Turbopolsa, a little bit slow here in the beginning, was able to turn it around in the shooting department. We kind of talked about him being like leading all of the scoring coming into this. Slow, 0 shots, 0% shooting percentage in the beginning of the first 3 games. Turn it around back up to 30%. That's what got to Envy the Game 7. They need a full series here to come back into this set.
And both overtime winners coming from Turbopolsa. But Corelli, that was pretty emotionally intensive. I think the players are going to need a break. We're going to need a break. And all the viewers at home are going to need a break. So we are going to do just that. We're going to a break. And when we come back, we'll have the second series of the Fall Classic. Stay with us.